we all engage in several cultural behaviors, and we identify with several cultures at once. So you may identify as your cultural professional culture. You might identify as a dentist. You might identify with the church that you go to. You might identify with your group of friends, your family. These are all separate little groups, cultures that we identify with. And thanks to the internet, now we're no longer geographically bound to culture, but we can make cultures with whatever we really want. I could be part of an online sewing group, and the culture is going to dictate kind of the behaviors I do. If every member in that group starts off with this beginner sewing machine, I'm going to feel very inclined to also do the same. If everyone in my culture as an American is driving a car instead of taking public transit, I'm going to be incentivized to go and purchase a car for myself. So culture is a shared meaning, a shared behavior, a shared something that we default to. But I'm going to highlight that it's a shared meaning because culture is one of the main things that influence how we, like the meaning behind why it is that we do stuff. And it's very irrational, and I'll show you why right here. So this is the culture loop. This is how culture is formed. We start off with a behavior, and for one reason or another, maybe out of necessity or maybe because it becomes popular, it becomes normalized. So think of trends like social media trends, TikTok trends. One example that came to my mind was being Korean. We're always taught to have your rice bowl on the right side and your soup on the left. So that behavior becomes normalized for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. But then through normalization, it becomes part of culture. And so if you asked me, and then like culture reinforces the behavior. So my dad would always tell me, hey, put your rice bowl on the right side. And I would always ask why. And the answer was it's because it's what Koreans do. It's the right thing to do as our culture. So culture becomes the reason why we default to anything. There's no better reason than it's just culture. Behavior causes normalization, which becomes a culture or a meme, and that causes just the same behavior and it reinforces another new behavior. So our goal with culture, when it comes to designing meaning, is to design culture dynamics around the event or your touch point to have it be interpreted as normal or socially default. So if you're offering a crown, our goal is to get them to believe that, oh, it is normal to be offered a crown. It's normal to accept a crown. We're going to lead into that. But the entire process that they're engaging with should be normal. For example, going to a car dealer to begin the process of buying a car is a normal part. It is a normal event. A car dealer walking up and approaching you, it is also relatively normal. That's what we do in our culture. So when the car dealer comes up, we don't get a meaning of, oh, this guy's here, this stranger is here to potentially rob me. Like that meaning would never cross our mind. The meaning comes, oh, it's just a car dealer who's here to sell me a car. And our feeling ends up a little bit defensive. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to design this culture dynamic so that whatever behavior that we want them to take becomes normalized, or whatever event that we present them also is also a normal event that is presented, so that they don't put their guard up. It just becomes a natural progression. And yeah, well, the way we do that is through getting the early adopters first. So we get the early adopters through differentiation, and the thing that happens is we create a culture around them. So we'll get more into this later when we talk about like bridging the gap, getting referrals and things like that. But for now, all you have to understand is that it starts with the early adopters, and we've done most of the heavy lifting for the initial behavior change by doing the differentiation exercise, the extremes exercise. And later on, we'll create this culture loop as we go.